Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Badger Baseball Playoff Edition. This afternoon is when it all starts to make sense for Arkadelphia, and it all counts. It's win or go home. Badgers are on the road today, and the first round of the South Regional Tournament today in DeQueen, Arkansas. Badgers having their names called out as they toe the line on the first base side, as they're going to occupy the first base dugout today. Arkadelphia and Star City. Star City, the 2A, or the second seed out of the 4-8 conference. Arkadelphia, the third seed in the conference. Star City Bulldogs will be the home team today. They're taking the field as the PA announcer calls them out. Hello, everyone. My name is Blake Bell, and I am glad to be in DeQueen today because it is playoff time. The Badgers, out of 8 teams in the conference, they have made the playoffs every year. I think that we have done this broadcast, and they're back again here in DeQueen today. And Chris Babb, this is a day that is unlike most days of the conference season where you get to come back and play another game. It's win or go home today here in DeQueen.
It is first round of the 4A South Regional Tournament. Take a look at the bracket there. Nashville and Monticello were the first game today. Nashville won 12-0, so they'll advance to tomorrow's semifinals at noon. Star City Arkadelphia now, the bottom half of the bracket, Stuttgart and Magnolia right after this, and Ashdown and Cross that wrap it up. So the winner of today's games advance to the semifinals, and you see there on the bottom left of your screen the qualify for the 4A state tournament. The first, second, and third and fourth place teams advance to next week's 4A state tournament in Lone Oak, and that's what the goal is today.
Yeah, and we're going to have a pitching duel again, as it seems today. They're going to send out their best pitchers today. Big right-hander out there for Star City, and Trip Campbell going to take the mound for Arkadelphia today. Trip has done extraordinary things this year on the mound. He's only got a 2-1 record, but he's struck out 82 batters out of 176 that he's faced. So that's pretty good average there, Chris.
Yeah, he's got a no-hitter to his name, 2 one-hitters. But, you know, all of the success that Arkadelphia has had, and Star City to this point, out the window. Take a look at the starting lineup there. Batting first and playing center field, Carter Babb, K.D. Young, Trip Campbell will be the first 3 that J.C. Tollison sees. Caden Brown, Donovan Whitten, Cooper Stevenson, the 4, 5, 6, and then Casey Pye, Daniel Kesterson, Zane Hill for the Arkadelphia Badgers. There's the defensive lineup for Star City, left to right in the outfield. Colby McBride, Austin Wilkerson, Dax Humphreys, left to right in the outfield. Hayden Dean, Logan Rayleigh, Dylan McBride, Christian Carnell, and he's going to be the big stick in that Star City lineup. J.C. Tollison at the mound, Gavin White behind the plate, and we are ready for action.
And we're ready for action with Carter Babb, and I know his proud dad is sitting right to the left of me, but Carter Babb has just been an excellent leadoff hitter this year. He's on base 487 is his percentage on base this year, and he's done exactly what Coach Drew Lowe has asked of his leadoff hitter, and that is to get on base, and that's what he does well. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it's high for ball 1.
Our camera is close to us, but we try to get a little bit better view for everybody at home to be closer behind. We're a little bit up the first base line.
J.C. Tollison is your big right-handed pitcher for Star City. Got the golden locks flowing out from under that bright blue, royal blue Star City cap, and he finally gets a strike. 2 balls and a strike to Babb. Working quickly is Tollison. Here he comes, and a swing and a drive out into left field, and it is going to be foul by about 5 feet. And nice cut there by Carter Babb. He'll run the count even at 2-2 and come back against Tollison.
Star City 15-6 overall on the season, 8-4 in the 4A8. They finished behind Stuttgart in that 2 seed for the second seed there in the 4A8.
Babb back in here. He's going to drive one right back up the middle, and it's a leadoff base hit. And what did I just say about Carter Babb? He gets on base, and that's what he does with a drive right up the middle.
It was a 2-2 breaking ball. looked like it was probably on the inside part of the plate. The second baseman was shading Carter to pull and went right up the mound, right up the middle, a base hit for Carter Babb.
So KD Young now, he's the third baseman, been there most of the year. Batting .321 on the season. Arkadelphia trying to get out to a early lead here in the top of the first here at the regional tournament in DeQueen, facing the Star City Bulldogs. We're glad you're joining us. If you're joining us on your Arkadelphia Badger TV streaming service or on your Mascot Media app, we're glad you're with us this afternoon. Breaking ball is not across for KD. It's 1-0. KD's a guy that's going to put the bat on the ball. He's going to swing the bat. He doesn't have a lot of walks. He takes strike one there looking. He's sizing up the pitcher, Tollison.
Believe, these two teams played last year in the regional at Malvern. I believe Tollison might have been on the mound some point when Arkadelphia then played last year.
They absolutely did. Arkadelphia won that game 7-5 in Malvern to advance, one of the games that allowed them to advance to the state tournament in Nashville last year, where they eventually won to runner-up Valley View. So facing the Bulldogs, one really important game that Arkadelphia and Star City played was back in 2015, Chris.
It was. Carter just picked off on first. The whole dugout thought he was safe. He didn't even think it was close, but the umpire rung him up.
Well, I thought he was safe, too. I was looking down, and all of a sudden I heard a commotion. KD now down a ball and 2 strikes in the count. He's going to reach out and poke that one out, foul on the right side, out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes to KD. Arkadelphia with a chance to three-peat back in 2015. Star City spoiled that bid. And here's a shot out into right field. Is it going to stay fair? It is going to be caught nonetheless. It's hard to tell if it was fair or foul, but it is caught nonetheless by the right fielder. So Arkadelphia is 2 down here in the top of the first.
Yeah, just kind of took the wind out of the sails. I think Coach Roop at first, Carter, the dugout, both thought he was safe and on that pickoff move. But regardless, you go from having 1 on and nobody out to 2 outs just like that.
So Trip Campbell now, he's been the leader of the batting cycle so far for Arkadelphia. 466 average, 515 on base, 27 hits, leading the team in all 3 categories. There's a pop-up on the left side in this high, cloudy ceiling. It's going to be caught by the left fielder. So Arkadelphia goes quietly here in the first after a leadoff hit by Carter Babb. Badgers go 1-2-3 after that, and we'll come back in 30 seconds. From DeQueen, you're listening to Arkadelphia Badger Playoff Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer, caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
We're in DeQueen, Arkansas for the South Regional Tournament. Arkadelphia and Star City. Arkadelphia goes blank in the first, top of the first. Leadoff hit by Carter Babb is erased by a pickoff, a questionable, really questionable call over at first base. And then a couple of flyouts into the outfield sends Arkadelphia back. But Trip Campbell is going to take the mound here for Arkadelphia as they take the bottom of the first. And Tripp has definitely been the leader as far as pitching so far this year. A 1.8 ERA for the big senior left-hander. He has only walked 22 batters and struck out 82. 22 versus 82. That is a very, very good stat, Chris Babb.
Yeah, not bad at all. You take a look at the Arkadelphia defensive lineup, left to right in the outfield, Zane Hill, Carter Babb, Maddox Finley. Left to right in the infield, Katie Young at third, Donovan Whitten at short, Casey Pye at second, Caden Brown at first. And then the battery is Trip Campbell and Cooper Stevenson. Star City batting order, Austin Wilkerson, Logan Rayleigh, Christian Carnall, and that's Carnall is the one that you're going to have to look at. He's the big hitter and the one who can do damage and is the biggest producer in this Star City lineup.
So Arkadelphia going with the senior left-hander, Trip Campbell, to start things off here. It's win or go home, and Arkadelphia hoping to punch their ticket tomorrow for a noon date with the Nashville Scrappers for the third time this year, and Trip Campbell starts out with a strike.
Fastball upstairs, and Wilkerson just a little bit late on that one.
Strike two looking, and Campbell has found the strike zone very early here in the game for Arkadelphia. Working very quickly, diligently is Trip Campbell from the windup. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, should be an easy play for Donovan Whitten, and he boots it up the front. So an error to start the inning for Arkadelphia is not exactly what they wanted, but that's okay. Trip knows that his senior shortstop is not going to do that very many times in a ball game. So E6 starts the game, and Star City has a runner aboard. Logan Rayleigh now the hitter, shortstop from the right side with a runner aboard. Back now going to the stretch and to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back and out of play is Rayleigh. Campbell and Whitten have played so long together that they know they're on the same page. It was a play that Donovan Whitten is normally going to make. Shouldn't get in Campbell's head. The pitch, high, ball and a strike now. The Bulldogs lost their last conference game of the season. We'll see if that carries over as Rayleigh takes strike one, a ball and two strikes now. Arkadelphia, a couple of common opponents, Stuttgart and Magnolia. Badgers won against Stuttgart. Star City 0-2 against Stuttgart in their conference year. And here's another bounding ball. This one again. And
well, now we've had a bang-bang play go against either team. Star City thought he was safe. Arkadelphia gets that call, so can we call us even now?
Yeah, the Badgers go 6-4 right there. Whitten comes up, goes to his right, and snags that one before it gets to the outfield, flips over to Casey Pye at second base, so there's an out. Questionable call again. But
this is the big hitter for Star City.
Yeah.
Throw him anything, middle in, fastball. He's got a chance to put it in the trees in right center field.
Yeah, Carnall's a big left-hander. He's going to – big first baseman. He stands in from the left side. He's standing right in front of us, got his oven mitts in his back pocket. And he's ready to put one into the stratosphere, and we'll see what Campbell does. He starts him out with the ball. And there is a nice breaking pitch. We're not right behind the plate, but that looked like it was a really good bender.
Those watching at home have a better angle from behind the plate as we're up the first base line just a little bit. And that looked like Stevenson was set up outside and Tripp hit that spot.
Campbell coming dangerously close right there. He runs it to two balls and a strike.
Yeah, Cooper looking outside, and he signals to the dugout that was just a hair outside. Put Carnall up in the count 2-1.
From the belt, here's the pitch, 2-1. Runner is getting a healthy secondary lead over at first, but not going. Ball 3 is high to Carnall. 3 balls, 1 strike. Campbell to the belt, kicks and deals. Down low, Carnall's aboard. Base on balls, now 2 runners aboard. with 1 out in the bottom of the first. So the Bulldogs of Star City threatening here in the bottom of the first. Dylan McBride, he's the second baseman, and the cleanup hitter has got a chance to score some runs here with a run in scoring position and won it first for Star City. Pitch is high, ball 1. Runner at first is being held on by Brown over at first. At second is Wilkerson. He's dancing around out there, and a little bit of cat and mouse between he and Witten. Witten going to get back to his spot. Good breaking pitch there by Trip Campbell for strike 1. Infield at normal depth other than Brown, who's holding on the runner at first. And a nice strong shot out into left field is going to get down at the 320 sign. That's going to score a run for Star City. 1 is all they get. And so Arkadelphia has given up a run here in the first inning on an RBI single from Dylan McBride.
It's a double. He ended up making it to second. That was he got around on that one. It was hooking, and Arkadelphia's hope was that 1, it would stay in the park, but 2, the hope that it might hook just enough to be foul. But it stayed just probably about 3 or 4 feet inside that foul line and hitting the wall right at the 320 sign in left field.
Well, so we've got a number on the board, and it belongs to Star City here in the bottom of the first, 1-0. Gavin White, their catcher, is the batter now with 2 runners in scoring position with Star City runners at second and third. Still just 1 out in the inning. Popped up on the infield. This should be an easy play for Witten. He eyes it, and he makes it right behind the pitcher's mound for the second out of the inning.
Good communication there. You saw K.D. Young coming in from third, Pye and Brown there also. Trip Campbell on the mound. Donovan called him off, could hear him even with the headset on, and everybody made way for Donovan to make the play. Arkadelphia is fortunate that it stayed behind the mound. It's a tough play for a fielder to run up on the mound to have to make that play.
You're exactly right. Colby McBride going to foul one up, and that might stay in foul territory. Ranging over and making the catch over his head is K.D. Young for the third out of the inning. And a couple of pop-ups bailed Arkadelphia out of what could have been a big inning for Star City.
Yeah, Arkadelphia gets a runner on in the top of the first, a pickoff, and then 2 and 3 go down in order. And then Arkadelphia is able to escape with only giving up 1 run on having a 1 out and 2 on scoring position situation.
So after 1 is complete here in DeQueen, Arkadelphia is down by 1. Arkadelphia 0, Star City 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Do allow me to learn to fight my own battles. Don't try to relive your youth through me.
Do allow me to make mistakes and learn from them.
Don't allow me to quit before I complete the activity. I need to learn perseverance.
Do support me and come to watch me play and perform and be my biggest fan regardless of the outcome.
Don't encourage me to specialize in a specific activity or sport.
Don't talk bad about my teammates and coaches.
Do teach me to respect my coaches, instructors, and officials.
Do understand that education-based activities are more about just winning and losing. They're about learning.
You know, one of the biggest discrepancies in 4 and 5A baseball or any sport is the size of, not necessarily the size of the school, but the size of the community. Star City is only a town of about 2,500 people. Arkadelphia, a town of 10,000. You look at a town like Nashville that we played for all these years, about to move up to 5A, only about 3,500 people. So Arkadelphia is one of these weird towns, I guess, with a big population, but yet they're still a 4A school.
Yeah, a lot of that to some, formula, whatever it is with the, I've asked, I don't understand what the formula is on the, you get some of the college students counted in that, and then also you have a few districts around, not a whole lot of rural area like you might have here at DeQueen, and so most of them live in the city. But yeah, it's a deal, and one of the bigger towns, and you doesn't end up meaning all 10,000 can play baseball, but hopefully the 9 to 15 that you got can do what you got to do, and they're going to have to come from behind today.
One of those towns that looks a lot like Arkadelphia is Hope, and one of their stars that has come up here to play for Arkadelphia is Caden Brown. He's going to lead off the second inning. He takes strike one against Tollison. Tollison going right at him. There's just a poke. He stuck his bat out, and Tollison's going to make a little Sunday afternoon throw over to first base to get Caden Brown out for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, kind of a check swing. He swung a big, healthy hack at that first one on the breaking ball, and he tried to check that swing and didn't check up enough to to avoid contact. Went right back to Tollison, about as easy as he can make it.
Yeah, that wasn't what he wanted out of that at bat. Here's Witten. Witten's going to take a ball for his first pitch. Witten has come around 383. He's second behind only Campbell as far as average on the team, and he's certainly come about his senior year. Swing at a bad pitch there.
That one fooled him.
Yeah, it fooled him. He was expecting one and had it in his mind all the way to the bat, and it just didn't work out for him. That one was low and outside, and
that bounced a few feet before the plate. Just kind of fooled him on that one.
Here's the 1-1 from Tollison. Again, another one drops out of the zone, and Tollison working very effectively here in the first as Witten fooled again on that pitch. We'll see if he comes back with that breaking pitch or if he goes with the fastball. And it is hung up, whatever it was. It's going to be foul, popped up on the infield. First baseman is over to make the play, and Christian Carnall, we talked about his last at bat, makes second out of the inning. Now, one thing about Cooper Stevenson, he's coming up to bat. He took over the catching duties about halfway through the year. He doesn't have as many plate appearances. Carter Babb and Campbell have 76 plate appearances, only 37 for Stevenson, but he's batting .486. So he's on base .486. So he's made the most of his opportunity.
Really has been a good addition in that lineup at the plate.
Ball and a strike now to Stevenson. One is right down the middle, the other just a bit outside. Stevenson, one of those free swingers. He's not gonna walk much. He's gonna put the bat on the ball, or he's gonna strike out, and it's been to his advantage so far. He's batting .345. And he's got 9 RBIs and only 37 plate appearances. But he looks to strike three there, and there go the Badgers here in the top of the second. Star City 1, Arkadelphia nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds from DeQueen, the regional tournament. You're listening to Badger Playoff Baseball on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
We're back to DeQueen, Arkadelphia, and Star City. Locked up here in the first round of the South Regional. The 4A7 versus a 4A8. And Arkadelphia, the third seed from the 7. Star City, the second seed from the 8. Trip Campbell back out for his second inning of work. Gave up an RBI double for the only run of the ball game. That was off the bat of second baseman Dylan McBride. Campbell will come back up now with the 7, 8, and 9 hitters up. Dax Humphreys, the right fielder, will bat. Hayden Dean on deck. J.C. Tollison, the pitcher, will be in the hole. No DH today for Star City. And to work goes Campbell. Swing and a miss. Humphreys, the first pitch is empty. Quickly working from the windup. Another swing and a miss.
They got both his feet off the ground on that one, just kind of.
Yeah, Humphreys trying to put that one into the gym over atop the scoreboard. Right-handed hitter. We'll see if Campbell comes right at him with a pitch to burn. And he does, and he strikes him out. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. He just swung at 3 pitches and caught nothing but air.
Just didn't look that comfortable in those three pitches he saw from Trip Campbell. Three swings.
Hayden Dean now is the third baseman. He'll bat in the 8th spot. Campbell comes right back into what we thought was the strike zone. I think it's a little outside. 75 degrees. There is a high ceiling of clouds and very, very little breeze. It's a nice day for baseball, but
it's a 2-0 count now. It's a good checkup, good check swing there. Almost went around, but it's a nice job of holding that swing before it did go across.
This one popped up. It's going to be on the infield. Coming in is Campbell. He makes the play in foul ground.
Tripp called that one off the bat. He said, I got it. Dugout hollers at Cooper. Tripp says, now I'm going to take it. And Cooper says, all right, go get it, senior.
You see a lot of catchers that really want to make that play, and it's just not their play if anybody but them can get to it because of the glove. Trip Campbell does a great job as a senior calling him off. Two outs now in the inning. J.C. Tollison, he's the pitcher, takes down for ball 1 in the dirt. He'll hand the ball to Stevenson.
When your starting pitcher is also a center fielder, that kind of allows that catcher a little bit of said, all right, I think he is going to get it. I'll just watch Tripp go work.
Yeah, he'll take it. Just a bit of a touch of the ball there as Tollison. It goes into the mid of Stevenson for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody aboard. Bottom of the second. Strike on the corner. Nice pitch there by Campbell.
Well, it's a good job of receiving the ball by Stevenson also. Kind of got under it, pulled it up as he caught it. Just a good job by Stevenson of receiving that ball in the strike zone as well.
Ball and 2 strikes. Right after him he goes, and he's swing and a miss for the 3rd out of the inning. And second inning looked a lot better for Arkadelphia than the first as Trip Campbell strikes out 2 and pops up to himself for the 3rd out of the inning. We'll go to the top of the 3rd. 1-0 Star City over Arkadelphia. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Arkadelphia, BadgerTV.com streaming.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
Welcome back to DeQueen, Arkansas. Badgers starting the top of the 3rd. They'll have their 7, 8, 9 hitters up. Casey Pye getting a start at second base will be batting to lead things off. Daniel Kesterson, the DH, will be the second, and in left field, Zane Hill for Arkadelphia. Casey Pye getting one of his few starts of the season. It's good to see some of these young men getting some playing time for Arkadelphia.
You know, when Arkadelphia had that split squad game the other day, Pye had a really good game offensively at the plate at Ouachita. That was Ouachita senior night. You know, they were supposed to play. Found out why that game happened. Ouachita was supposed to play Harmony Grove in a Monday before regional. Harmony Grove got upset and didn't make it out of their regional tournament. So Ouachita, that was their senior night that was scheduled. And Arkadelphia sent some guys over there, and the JV team was ahead 6-3 in the top of the seventh, and then Ouachita was able to score 4 runs to win 7-6. But good effort from the young group, and Casey Pye had a good game offensively.
So we'll see the youngster from the right side of the plate swings at a high fastball from Tollison. Pye getting a chance to see some varsity playoff pitching in the high school ranks for what's probably the first time. There's a nice drive out into left center field, and that's going to get down. And Casey Pye, wow, what a shot there for the youngster from Arkadelphia, and he's on with a leadoff single.
It's a good way to start the third inning. You know, he's some of the guys have been talking to him. He has been really hot offensively, had a good bat. Not his first varsity game to play, but hadn't played in a ton, and he starts off the third with a base hit.
One of the guys that started the year on fire, he lulled in the middle, now he's coming on towards the end, is Daniel Kesterson.
Now we have a pick. It was a quick pickoff to Pye at second base. And that ball got all the way, and Casey's going to end up at third.
Yeah, that's just
Blake. They weren't even. I don't think Tollison. You know, we were sitting here looking down. I was looking at the screen. Tollison tried to make a quick pickoff move, and I don't know if Carnell was expecting it or if it was a bad throw or a little bit of both. But regardless, you know, there's a lot of foul territory. You can't see it on the screen, but there's a lot of foul territory here at DeQueen, and that allowed Casey Pye to get all the way to third. So now the leadoff batter is on third. Good chance for Arkadelphia here to tie the game.
That changes things a lot for Coach Drew Lowe and possibly even third base Coach Benson Jordan. Is there a lot of things they can do here. Sacrifice is definitely on the board now. 1-0 to Kesterson. They're going to allow him to swing. He hits it probably in the worst place possible, and that's right to the third baseman as Pye is frozen.
Yeah, hard hit ball by DK. He's had several of those. That one just happened to be right at the third baseman. Third baseman didn't even have to move. That was Hayden Dean over there playing in on the bag to keep the runner honest. Casey Pye did a nice job of freezing and making sure the throw went across and not getting caught hung up there on third.
So here's Zane Hill. He's going to swing at the first pitch. Arkadelphia being very aggressive today at the plate. They're swinging at a lot of early pitches. And Tollison is coming right at the Badgers. He's not holding anything back. Creeping up the line over at third base is Hayden Dean for
He's creeping up on the
Bulldogs.
grass. Sorry, but he's creeping up on the grass. So if Zane can get any hard contact, he's got a chance to sneak one through on the left side. But you got to put the bat on the ball, and you're in the hole 0-2. Tollison's in command here at this at bat.
From the stretch, and there's a shot that's going to get down. You called it, Chris Babb, right over the third baseman's head, out into shallow left field, and it scores the tying run for Arkadelphia.
It's a good piece of 0-2 hitting by Zane. He took some off of it. You know, your baseball coaches say sometimes the first couple of swings are yours. Once you get to two strikes, you got to have a swing that's for me, and that's a base hit swing. Zane Hill does a nice job of just putting the bat on the ball, reaching it over the head of Dean at third base to tie the game up.
Carter Babb now will flip the lineup for Arkadelphia. Babb singled to start the game. He got picked off on a questionable call over at first. We'll see. He's swinging early here. It's going to be bounded to the second baseman. He's quickly 4-3 for the out. The runner does advance to second base, and so Babb is 1 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, just got on top of that one just a little bit. Went after the first pitch, tried to pull it through the hole between second and first. Just got on top of it just a little bit too much. Runner in scoring position now for KD Young, though. It was hit far enough over that took the double play out of play, so it did advance the runner, but now you got 2 outs.
Absolutely did. KD with a base hit will most likely score the very speedy. Well, he didn't hit it, but he did swing, and it goes to the backstop, so Hill is going to advance to third base. Hill, one of the better base runners for Arkadelphia, one of the speedier Badgers on the bags, and he's now 90 feet away from taking the lead for Arkadelphia. KD down 0-1.
Seen that breaking ball really fool right-handed batters for Arkadelphia. It's been, in the dirt in front of the plate. It's really fooled a couple of Arkadelphia batters.
Tollison from the belt. Popped up, out of play as KD quickly in the hole, 0-2. Campbell on deck, and a run 90 feet away that would take the lead for Arkadelphia, 1-1 here in the top of the third. Outside, ball 1. KD.
There's a good plate discipline there. 0-2 count. You could easily try to go fishing. The catcher, had to go out, had to dive out to the right to get that, field that. We don't have a great angle, but when you see the catcher get out of his crouch and have to go out to stop it, it's a little bit out of play. Good discipline by KD.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tollison backs away from the rubber. Readjusts his shirt sleeves, and we'll go at it again. Zane Hill at third base represents the go-ahead run for Arkadelphia. KD wants the time. He takes a second or two outside the box, and he steps back in. Go ahead to Tollison, to the belt. Here's the pitch. High, strike 3, swung on and missed by KD, and Arkadelphia ties it up, but that's all they can do is they leave one stranded on third.
Good to get that tying run, though. You go in the bottom of the third with a little momentum, trying to get some of that back. You've at least squared it up 1-1.
And so we'll come back to the bottom of the third inning as Star City will have the top of the lineup back up. We'll be back here in 30 seconds from DeQueen. You're listening to Playoff Badger Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Back to the playoffs. Arkadelphia starting the bottom of the third here. Trip Campbell back out on the mound. Gave up a run in the first. Blew him down in the second. He's back out for his third inning of work as the Badgers were able to tie up the game in the bottom of the second. Or excuse me, top of the third at 1-1. It's win or go home. Chris, we've got a date hopefully tomorrow if we can win this game with Nashville. Nashville with a very impressive early morning showing here in the regional.
Yeah, Nashville defeated Monticello 12-0. They got 5 runs in the top of the bottom of the first inning. It kind of set the stage for that. They won that game in 5 innings. Carson Chambers got the win for the Scrappers. That was the lefty freshman that battled against Trip Campbell when these two teams, when Arkadelphia and Nashville played a couple of weeks ago down at Wilson Park.
Yeah, and a very good future ahead for that young man there in Nashville. A ball and a strike now as Trip Campbell starts out against the leadoff hitter Austin Wilkerson. Wilkerson grounded the ball to Donovan Witten in the first. He bumbled it just a little bit for an error. There's a swing and a foul ball back over to the right side, right over the top of our head. We hear the tin roof here at the covered stands in DeQueen. DeQueen, a beautiful ballpark, 365 right up the middle, 320 down the left field side, 315 on the right field side. 330 in the right alley and 335 down the left alley. A swing and a miss. Wilkerson goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Second time these 1-2-3 pitchers have seen Trip Campbell. They were able to get the one run in the bottom of the first.
Rayleigh grounded into a 6-4. And there's a shot to the third baseman. It's going to come up and go across. Nice play there by K.D. Young. He ranges to his left. You know, K.D. is a defensive lineman by trade, but as a fleet-of-foot third baseman, he's pretty quick.
Well, it was a good play on the short hop by KD too. He started charging it because he knew he had to get the throw over there in time. He caught it on the short hop, got his weight behind him, and made a nice throw. And here's the big hitter for Star City.
Yeah, Carnell walked his last time up. We'll see if Campbell comes at him. And he does. There's a pop-up, and it's going to be on the infield, ranging right behind the second base bag is Witten, and he makes the play. And that's a pretty efficient inning right there from a pitch count status by Trip Campbell.
It really is. You know, Tripp's had about 3 games where he's gotten to that second out in the 7th inning and had to go out because the pitch count's happened the last 2 times. But we'll see what that was. Hold on, they're going to announce it here in a second. 6 pitches that inning. 34 pitches.
34
so 28
pitches.
through 2 innings, 34 through 3 innings. That was efficient. These last 2 innings have really helped because I would guess that he probably had about 20 of those in that first inning.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's going to be a big deal. Any of these 4A schools are going to have limited amount of pitching. I mean, Arkadelphia is going to have, you know, they're going to have their go-to 1-2 guys, which typically this year have been Trip Campbell and Carter Babb. Then they go to the middle inning reliever guys, and then usually the closer has been Donovan Witten. So you only have so many guys that you can go to in that pen, and Arkadelphia is really working efficiently here from a pitching standpoint. Speaking of pitching, he's going to be doing the leadoff hitting here in the top of the 4th, Trip Campbell.
You know, Tripp, the team's leading hitter. Obviously, we've talked about his pitching exploits. Tripp has really hit the ball well pretty much all season after the start of the season. And, you know, he's got a chance to kind of help his own cause to get on base here to start this top of the 4th inning.
Carter Babb is about as good a leadoff hitter as you're going to get, but as far as hits goes, he's playing second fiddle to Campbell. Campbell has 27 hits, and so not a bad leadoff situation for Trip Campbell either, as leading the team with 27 hits. Doesn't strike out a whole lot.
A lot of room also in that the center fielder is playing, you know, probably medium, and so if Tripp can put a charge into one to the opposite field, he's got a chance to get a double.
So the pitcher, Tollison, doesn't have a lot of velocity. He's got some movement on his pitch and not a lot of velocity. So the left-handed pitching or hitting Campbell, they're playing him to pull a little bit as they've moved the center fielder over to the left or to the right of the center field batter's eye.
And there is a lot of room. Left field's playing up straight or straight up. And you mentioned that center field is shading to right field. There's a lot of field, a lot of room in that left center field gap.
Yeah, ball and a strike. Tripp going to hit one, and it's going to go to the left side. Can it be caught? And it will. Ranging just to his left is the left fielder, right in front of the 335 sign for the first out of the inning.
Got just under that when he was going opposite field with it to try to find that gap, but just got just under it just enough to hang up in the air for the left fielder to make the catch without any problem.
Caden Brown was early swinging in his first at bat back in the second inning. He popped up to the first baseman, popped up to the pitcher. Brown been a very important part of the Arkadelphia offense. He takes outside, ball 1. Brown hitting .347, .468 on base, and he'll be back next year in Badger Blue. He's just a junior. Strike 1 as he wiggles those hips. He's got a little of that Elva shimmy when he gets up there, and helps him calm down when he gets in the box. Waggles that bat over his head. swing and just might have got a piece of it into the catcher's mitt for strike 2. Arkadelphia donning those red and white tops, the gray bottoms. Ball is poked to the shortstop. He fields it cleanly. Across the diamond, 6-3 goes Brown for the second out of the inning. Witten now. He popped up to the first baseman back in the second inning for the second out of the inning.
Blake, you mentioned Campbell being efficient, Tollison also being efficient. Interested to see what his pitch count is. I bet it's not very far above 34, if it's even to that point.
We're going to see these two guys go the majority of this ball game, I'm sure. The winner going tomorrow. It's all holds bar in this game today. Winner advances, loser goes home. So there is no tomorrow for second place. A ball and a strike to Witten. Senior shortstop from the right side. Tollison from the windup. Hammer down to left side, and it's going to get down. It'll go all the way to the 320 wall out in left field, and a 2-out double for Donovan Witten has got the Badgers with some life here in the top of the 4th.
It's a good 2-out hit. You know, they kind of left that one up right in the zone. Donovan turned on it, and this is a different hitter than Arkadelphia had last year in Donovan Witten. He's really put bat on the ball all season long. Has really made a big jump at the plate from last year, and he gets that double that had some smoke on it. It was hooking towards the left field line, and the left fielder just couldn't quite come up with it as solid as Donovan got it and able to get to second base with that ball going to the wall.
Extra base hit number 12 for Donovan Witten. He trails only Trip Campbell, who's got 13 for the team lead. There's a ground ball at the shortstop. That's going to be fielded, bobbled, and it's not going to be in time as Arkadelphia now has runners at the corners, and what so far has been a pretty sure glove over there from Logan Rayleigh on the exchange. He dropped it, and it allows Arkadelphia's Cooper Stevenson to get on board now. Runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Going to have a courtesy runner for Stevenson in Dylan Rogers. First base umpire's coming to the he's just telling the substitution 14 for 11 courtesy run. Blake, that was a interesting call. I thought he was punching. It was almost like he brought his hand up like he's like a home plate umpire ringing him up on a called third strike.
You're exactly right. I thought he was calling him out.
He must have said safe really loudly because Cooper and Coach Roop in the dugout were excited. But I thought just looking like he had done something on a weird
it was definitely a bang play over first base, and a nice job of legging it out there for Cooper Stevenson. One of the hotter hitters so far for Arkadelphia. Well, Casey Pye, tell you what, this young man is not scared to swing the bat.
No, and he's getting good solid contact on it. Tollison's kind of left for these last 3 batters is kind of left that fastball up in the zone, and it's not what you want to do. It's not a team that's going to hit a lot of home runs, but once they get in a streak, they have been able to put the bat on the ball, and Casey has a chance to give Arkadelphia a lead here.
Casey just missed driving in that go-ahead run, and he's going to pop this one up. This one's going to stay up into that high ceiling. The shortstop coming over, calling off his third baseman. He'll have the play, so Casey pops up to end the inning. Arkadelphia barks a little bit, but no bite as we finish out the top of the 4th inning. And Arkadelphia will remain tied with Star City 1-1 here in DeQueen. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Playoff Baseball 81. We'll be right back.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James Financial Advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
If there's a better place to be right now than DeQueen, Arkansas, let me know. Arkadelphia is playing regional playoff baseball, and they're tied right now with Star City.
Tony Stowers, the DeQueen radio voice for basketball and baseball, heard you, and he just hollered, there's never a better place to be than DeQueen, Arkansas. We'd like to thank Tony and Bo McCaslin and Coach Ethan Crocker, the head baseball coach. They've done a nice job of getting this facility ready, and they're not playing in it, but they're hosting it. They've done a nice job. Nashville sticking around to watch. Some of the scrappers are there. You mentioned that the winner of this game plays Nashville tomorrow at noon. Probably end up seeing Kason Willard, the junior righty and third baseman for Nashville. We mentioned that earlier today that Chambers was the one who pitched today for Nashville.
Dylan McBride, he was the recipient of a RBI double that's responsible for the only Star City run on the board. Bats here. And the bottom of the fourth inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trip Campbell back out on the mound again. Arkadelphia faithful. Back over our right shoulder here in DeQueen. Oh, wow. Nice pitch there by Campbell. Doesn't get the call. Just sneaks in too much of the inside. Campbell now at 2-1 against McBride.
Good job by McBride of laying off of that one. It started in the middle of the plate and rolled up over the, broke inside.
Yeah, McBride now is 2 for 2. He's got a single right up the middle to center field to start off the bottom of the fourth.
The change of direction or the change of location has not affected McBride. Campbell came with the breaking ball. It was low and inside. Then he elevated a fastball, and McBride went up and got that one, drove it into center field.
McBride's 2 for 2, and he's been really one of the only bright spots offensively for Star City. Gavin White popped up to the shortstop. His last time at bat. Takes strike 1. McBride being held on over at first base by Brown. Taking a small lead, not much of one. Doesn't seem to be a threat to steal right now. Second pitch.
Yeah, just a little bit just above the top of the zone there. Campbell kind of wanted that one, but, the batter doesn't have as much of that tall. This is a shorter batter. I think he's the catcher, I believe, but
he is.
Not as much of a north and south strike zone.
And he's got him picked off. He throws to first in time to second base.
Tremendous job by Trip Campbell of recognizing that, but also what you have to keep in mind for these left-handed pitchers. We talked about this earlier in the season. This is a 3-man crew, and so some of the pickoff moves that you can get away with when you have a 2-man crew, being a lefty and bringing that right knee back behind your leg and stepping towards the plate, you can't get away with a 3-man crew. That umpire is over there at first base, and that was just a textbook move by Campbell and a good way by Caden Brown of stepping in and making that throw to Donovan Whitten.
And there's a poke that gets right over the head of KD Young. I think he got the altitude. He just didn't have the latitude.
That ball was fisted on the inside. It got jammed, and it just kind of turned on it on the handle. I think KD was expecting it to get to him a lot faster than it was, and then he was not able to adjust when it slowed down a little bit.
Well, so
that's what makes that pickoff move, pickoff even more important.
The good pickoff move, if you watch basketball players and you see them go up there with that silky smooth free throw and they make 90%, that's because of practice. And that play over there to that pickoff move from Trip Campbell to first baseman Brown was a result of that. It looked silky smooth, and
that's a tough throw for that first baseman to throw down to second. You got to step inside, still make a good throw. Good execution by Campbell, Brown, and Whitten.
You're exactly right. Pop up to third baseman KD Young was the last at bright for Colby McBride. He's the left fielder. takes ball 1 to start his count. The runner, White, is over at first. That one sails over the glove of Stevenson, and it'll get the runner down to second base.
That about came right into your kitchen if you're watching at the house. That was a fastball that just got away from Tripp, and so now a runner in scoring position with only 1 out for Star City as the Bulldogs trying to retake the lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
So the first half or a little more of the order for Star City has put the bat on the ball. They've popped up and popped out a few times. The bottom half has done a lot of swinging and missing.
That breaking ball just started about 6 feet in the air and just broke. That was a 12-6.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. 2 balls and a strike now to McBride. The pitch swung on, tapped foul.
That's another good one. Tripp threw that breaking ball again. He didn't start that one out as high. He still got it to break in the zone, and Colby McBride had to go down and adjust and just hope he could foul that one off.
Game moving very quickly. No crooked numbers on the scoreboard so far. Arkadelphia 1, Star City 1. We play in the bottom of the 4th here from DeQueen. There's a pop-up, shallow center field, and it's going to get down right in front of Babb. He cannot get to it, and so a Texas leaguer drops right in front of the center fielder, Babb, and now we've got runners at the corners with 1 out, and really the first trouble since the first inning for Tripp Campbell.
Yeah, that one was put in a perfect position. Now you've got, if you're Star City, you're in the bottom of the 4th. You've only got 9 outs left for Arkadelphia to try to score. You see with 1 out, if you try to manufacture a run here midway to late in the game, third base coach for Star City is talking to the runner, the base runner at third, and kind of see if they try to play a little cat and mouse with Arkadelphia to try to steal a run, manufacture a run here.
We'll see if Dax Humphreys is more patient. He's struck out on 3 pitches back in the second inning. 1, 2, 3. Swing, and he swings at the first pitch, and the first time he's made contact, but it's foul. He's out in front as he drives it to the left side out of play. He's got a chance right now to put Star City ahead. If he can be a little patient, we'll see what Campbell does. Runners at the corners. He eyes the first base runner. Comes at him, swing and a miss. And Humphreys has seen 6 pitches. Excuse me, he's seen 5 pitches and missed 4 of them. The 0-2. Back over to first is the throw. Quick tag made. Not much of a lead over there from McBride. McBride being very careful at first base against the left-handed pitching Campbell as he eyes him directly. He comes, and just a bit outside. And
I think he probably called that one a little bit low. It was just the bottom part of the zone. That's a good discipline there by Humphreys to not go after that one. He's not going to do anything with that. Campbell was hoping to get the call. Star City got that one.
Yeah, and the first time Humphreys has not swung at a pitch from Tripp Campbell. And he does swing at this one. He's going to get to Campbell. He bobbles it, goes to first, not in time. A little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a English on that swinging bunt there. It wasn't intended to be, and now the bases are full with 1 out. And, you know, it could be a positive situation for Arkadelphia because now you've got the force on at all the bases.
Credit Caden Brown for blocking that one. Tripp went ahead and tried to get the runner. The throw was low. Nice job by Caden Brown of blocking that one and keeping it in front of him to keep the runners where they are.
Hayden Dean, he popped out foul to the first baseman, Caden Brown. He'll come up with the bases loaded and a golden opportunity for Star City. Swing and a tip foul back behind the catcher, Stevenson.
Middle infield playing at double play depth with 1 out. Katie Young playing in at third along with Caden Brown also playing in at first.
Yeah. Center field in normal depth, normal alignment. The 0-1 to Hayden Dean. Strike 2. Dean didn't like it. He looks back over at his dugout in disgust, but his third base coach tells him get back in there and go to work. It's 0-2 now to the third baseman, Dean. Big spot here for Star City. And just missing. Cooper Stevenson turns around and looks. Thought that was more of a strike than the pitch before. He does not get it. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count now to Dean.
That ball must be breaking too much inside. It's a good job by Dean of laying off.
Campbell, here's the pitch. A check swing, and he got him.
Yep.
No, that's only 2.
That's only 2 outs.
Watch out there, young man. Cooper Stevenson starts to toss the ball, and luckily Trip Campbell goes out to get it. That's only 2 there, young fella. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, Cooper with a just having to eat that one and say, "Oops, my fault." He even took the helmet off to acknowledge it. Yeah, I just messed that one up.
So now J.C. Tolleson, the pitcher, man, can he help his own cause right here? Base is full of Bulldogs. He swings and a miss at his first strike, which is a high fastball from Campbell.
You know, they didn't even have to appeal. It didn't. The home plate umpire called that check swing strike and said that he went around, didn't need to appeal.
We do have a 3-man crew here, one behind the plate, one standing right behind third base. The other right now with the bases loaded just between the pitcher and second base. Tolleson, no balls, 1 strike. Big spot here as a pitcher and a hitter for Tolleson. He's going to bound it right back to Trip Campbell. Campbell easily throws it over to first. And what do you say, Trip Campbell, for getting out of this jam one more time?
Breathe a little bit on that one. That was bases loaded, 1 out. Star City really had a chance there. You got to feel like if you're Arkadelphia, you can breathe a little bit, but now you have to go take advantage of that. And Star City's Tolleson's gonna have to come back on the mound and put it behind him and get back to dealing.
Kesterson, Hill, and then back to the top of the inning with Babb. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Playoff Badger Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands. Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
We go to the top of the 5th inning from DeQueen High School for a South Regional first-round action. Winner of this game advances to tomorrow's semifinal game. That will be at noon against Nashville Scrappers. Nashville defeated Monticello 12-0. The season comes to an end for the loser of these first-round games today. In the regional, you take a look at the bracket there as we are almost ready to go here in the top of the 5th. Nashville, Monticello. So Monticello's season came to an end. Arkadelphia, Star City here. Stuttgart, Magnolia at 3. Ashdown, Crossett later tonight. And again, the winners will advance to the 4A state tournament next week and play Friday and Saturday for seeding. It'll be 8-9-1 for Arkadelphia. Daniel Kesterson, Zane Hill, Carter Babb. This is will be the 3rd time the lineup has turned over. 2nd time it's turned over. 3rd time the top of the order will have seen Tolleson. Daniel Kesterson will get things going for Arkadelphia. Squared one up in the first time that he saw Tolleson. Just went right to the 3rd baseman. He was retired. That was in the inning when Arkadelphia was able to score a run. He'll try to get things going here in the top of the 5th. 1-1. Arkadelphia just stranded the bases. Star City stranded the bases loaded after Trip Campbell got out of a bases loaded 1-out jam with a strikeout and a ground out back to the mound. Kesterson down in the count, 0-1. Tolleson, the righty, from the mound. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, chops at it. Foul down the 3rd base line for strike 2. So now Tolleson's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Daniel Kesterson. The 8th hole in the Arkadelphia lineup, the DH for today. Zane Hill is on deck, Carter Babb in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Kesterson stands in. Tolleson Out of the windup, the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, ground ball right back to Tollison. Fields it, casually throws over to first for the first out of the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Zane Hill. Try to get Arkadelphia going here in the top of the 5th. 7-inning game. Blake, 1-1.
Yeah, and Zane Hill hit
this is a 3-inning game.
Yeah, Zane Hill hit the RBI single that tied this thing up. In the top of the 3rd inning, he's going to get a chance again here to try to be productive for Arkadelphia's offense. He takes high for ball 1. Zane swings a lot, he strikes out a lot, but he also, once he gets on base, he is trouble for the opposer.
2 straight from Tollison to Hill upstairs. Zane Hill on base, good speed on the bases if Hill can reach.
He swings at the 3rd pitch. He's saw 2 fastballs high, the 3rd fastball high, and he just couldn't lay off of that 3rd one. Not quite as high. He missed it, 2 balls and a strike. That's the pitch you want to swing at.
Yeah, that one fooled him. I think he might have been expecting. He just kind of nodded his head when that one went by, and now he's going to have to protect with 2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hill pops this one up. Will it get out of play? And it will. A few rows deep over on the left side, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Zane Hill, left fielder for Arkadelphia. Nobody on and out here in the inning. Arkadelphia and Star City knotted at 1. Nice pitch, falls out of the strike zone.
It's a good take by Zane with 2 strikes. You know, could go fishing, but he did a nice job of hanging in there and leaving that one out.
Carter Babb will be on deck, and that's just that's a take that he can't afford to make right there, and he strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, Tollison controlled that one. Yeah, at bat. It was 3-2. I think he came back with the fastball right on the outside part of the plate for strike 3.
Star City 8-4 in conference play, 15-6 overall. They finished 2nd behind the Stuttgart Rice-Birds in the 8-4A conference finals, representing the 2nd seed here in the South Regional. There's a shot out into center field. It's going to be squared up and caught for the 3rd out of the inning. And so Arkadelphia goes quietly here in the top of the 5th. We're tied at 1. And you're listening to Badger Baseball here on your Mascot Media app.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 140,000 participants here in Arkansas who take part in high school sports or activities.
Well, it's stretch time here. Middle of the 5th inning. High school baseball. Arkadelphia and Star City knotted up here in postseason play, 1-1. It's been a pitcher's duel so far. We'll see who is able to break the code here and go out in front for a date with the Nashville Scrappers tomorrow at 12 o'clock. You know, we try to talk about the cities that we're in, and looking at Star City, you know, Star City is a county seat of Lincoln County. It's located halfway really between Pine Bluff and Monticello. If you're a movie buff, one of the claims to fame of Star City was there was a movie back in 1992. It was a police thriller starring Billy Bob Thornton and Bill Paxton called One False Move. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but
I think Jason Jones will confirm that I have not seen that movie. If you name one, I probably haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's probably a bit risque, I would imagine, and but I have not seen it myself. But it is a claim to fame of Star City. Speaking of Star City, here they come in the bottom of the 5th. And leadoff hitter Austin Wilkerson, center fielder, will start things off. Reached by an error in the first, struck out in the third. The lanky center fielder will step in, strike 2, swing and a miss. Completely fooled as that one dropped off the dinner table there for Trip Campbell. Campbell needing an efficient inning. He gave up a few more pitches than he wanted last, and this time he's going right to work, and very efficient at bat there for Campbell as he strikes out Wilkerson.
I believe he started this inning at 56 pitches, so he had 34 after the 4th. I believe they said he threw 22, so 56 pitches going into the 5th. Still pretty good work.
Yeah, if Arkadelphia is to win this game, Trip Campbell will most likely be able to finish it based on a pitch count. Logan Rayleigh now, he's grounded out twice. Grounded to short, grounded to second, grounded to third. He takes low for ball 1. Arkadelphia, normal depth in the infield, outfield as well. Still no breeze, high ceiling, nothing but clouds. No blue, only gray clouds, high and above. Can be a problem for high fly balls into the outfield. On a day like today, the sky looks exactly like the baseball. T-Rip, 2 balls, no strikes. He's going to come at him, and Rayleigh's going to hit one out in the left field. Quickly up with it is Hill, and he hits the cutoff man for a 1-out single.
Yeah, 2-0 count. Had to bring it up a little bit, trying to get it in the zone, and Rayleigh did a nice job of putting the bat on it, knowing where it was coming. Was thinking fastball, looking fastball, got it. Now Star City looking to try to change the complexion of this game with their big hitter at the plate.
Christian Carnall, he walked in the first. He popped up to Witten in the third. He's back up here in the 5th. Fouls the first one back. Left-hander, first baseman. Big hitter in the Star City lineup in the 3-hole. Dylan McBride is on deck. McBride has been the heart of the order today for Star City at 2 for 2. Scored the only run, drove in the only run, and he's 2 for 2. Swing, foul ball off to the left. Cardinal now in the hole, 0-2. Campbell's a smart baseball player. He knows who those hitters are. He knows what they're capable of. He's going to put the ball where they're going to least be able to make the most impact, and he's got a really big advantage here at 0-2. And he goes upstairs, and Cardinal cannot lay off for strike 3.
Well, he went breaking ball, then he came back and left it high, went to high cheese, and, man, that high fastball, so many batters, just looks like a beach ball, and Tripp made it look like a golf ball then, and it's a good battle between those two very good hitters and pitchers, and Tripp won that battle to get the second out.
Dylan McBride now, he's doubled, he's singled, he's 2 for 2. He's been the only real trouble that Tripp Campbell's had to work out of today. He takes strike 1 on a questionable call.
Yeah, Star City didn't like that. They thought that breaking ball started too high and didn't break enough.
0-1. Takes what Campbell wanted as 0-2, but it's 1-1 now to McBride.
Not sure if that was off the plate. It looked like it was the north and south was a little bit better than the first one. Must have been off the plate a little bit.
Swinging foul back over the left side in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes is McBride. This could be a very, very big inning right here for Arkadelphia. They have Young, Campbell, and Brown up in the top of the 6th. And there's that arm slot drop that we see about once or twice an outing from Trip Campbell. He comes down about 2 slots lower than his normal release point.
Yeah, just let that one a little bit too much outside. The batter was fooled. If that had been in the zone, it would have been strike 3.
Ground ball foul over to the left side. KD going to go in front of the third base coach and scoop it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. McBride staying alive here. Campbell with a runner at first. That represents the go-ahead run for Star City. Not a lot of numbers out there on the board. Arkadelphia gave up 1 in the first, got it back in the third, and that's where we stand. 2 balls. And the 2-2 pitch bounces off the catcher, gets away enough for the runner to get down to second base.
Yeah, Cooper tried to get it out of his glove and just kind of lost it. Trip saying, hey, that was my fault. It was high out of the zone. And so now you have a chance to battle back with 3-2 count here to try to get this third out of the inning. Star City going to try to put a ball in play. You take the lead.
Swing and ground ball to shortstop. Donovan Witten up quickly, and he is safe. Well, man, that guy's got some wheels down there.
Donovan he charged it, but he had to take it. He took a little extra step that was the difference between that being an out and a safe call. And boy, he really beat that one out. That was tremendous running by Dylan McBride, getting down the line as Witten was playing deep. He charged it, but McBride really got down the line nicely. Big spot here for both teams. Star City go-ahead run 90 feet away.
McBride 3 for 3 on the day. Takes strike 1. Campbell going to bow his back up just a little bit here. He's got runners on the corners.
Second inning in a row, Star City's had to go-ahead run at third base. Start flirting with fire. Every once in a while you get burned. Campbell's going to try to get out of it again.
Yeah, and White singled last time up to left. This time he goes after that beach ball up in his numbers, or in his letters, and it's strike 2.
He went up for that high fastball. You wonder if he doesn't try to break one off here. Start that breaking ball up high and let it fall out of the zone into Cooper's glove.
Yeah, White catcher, a little shorter in stature. We'll see if Campbell decides to go right at him on 0-2. He does. Well, he left that one a little bit outside, and White does not go after it. A ball and 2 strikes. He had 1 to burn, maybe even another here for Campbell.
That's good discipline by White. You know, the 0-2, you could just kind of get nervous, get antsy up there in the box, but he saw that one. You know, he's a catcher, so he sees that zone every half inning, and so he did a nice job of laying off of that one and not swinging it to stay in there for another pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners aboard. Critical game, critical part of the game. Just missing outside as Campbell wanted that one. He just missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, you look out across the 330 sign out in the right center field section. You see all those white school bus tops. It's that time of the year, Chris Babb. It's playoff time.
It is. Big spot here, 2-2. You can't ask for much more than this spot right here.
He left it up high, and he did not go fishing. That was not the pitch that Campbell really wanted. Lost a little control of it. He's going to get a visit from Coach Drew Lowe out of the Arkadelphia dugout, and most likely not going to be a hook.
Oh, no.
It's going to be a calm down. Let's see where we're at. Make sure that our infield knows where to go on any given play, whether it's a hit ball or whatever it is. And it's just a little bit of a calm down meeting here from Coach Drew Lowe. You know, Coach Lowe, in his 6th year for Arkadelphia, outside of the COVID year, which nobody went to the playoffs, has been in the playoffs every year, Chris.
They have. They had some good runs, trying to continue that state tournament appearance run today, but you got some work cut out for you. A big spot here, 3-2, 2 outs, runner on first and third. So the runner at first will be going. So if it's a well-placed base hit in a gap, it could be a 2-run RBI, but Trip Campbell's going to try to come back, find the zone. It was an 0-2 count, 3 straight balls to Gavin White.
Does he step off here and take the throw to first base? He does not. He comes right at the hitter. He fouls it back. The runner was off and running to second base. They'll do it again. You know, that's definitely a possibility. It is a very gutsy possibility, but you know that runner's going.
Yeah, he's going with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. And so, you know, essentially the runner is going to be in scoring position by the time the ball's hit, and he'll have momentum. So big spot here for Campbell on the mound for Arkadelphia, for Gavin White at the plate.
Here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Tie score. Swung and tipped into the glove of Cooper Stevenson. Nice job there by the sophomore catcher, securing it for strike 3, and Trip Campbell gets out of the inning. Bases loaded for Star City. Arkadelphia gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here.
Top of 6.
Excuse me, top of the 6th inning here in DeQueen. We've got a dogfight on our hands, folks. Arkadelphia 1, Star City 1. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Playoff Baseball.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Back to playoff baseball. DeQueen, Arkansas, the spot. Arkadelphia, Star City knotted up at 1. We go to the top of the 6th. We'll play 7 unless we need more here in playoff baseball. It's round 1. Winner will face the Nashville Scrappers tomorrow at noon, and that'll punch a ticket to the state playoffs in Lonoke.
That's right. We said it earlier. Winner, you win today or your season ends. So that doesn't happen in baseball very often. Doesn't happen in many sports, but you come to this tournament, and baseball is a weird game to have a one and done. It's just just a different game, but that's the situation you find yourself in. So now it's a 6-out game. You know, you're in the top of the 6th inning. It's a 6-out game, and you got to try to scratch one across before your opponent does, and you got to get something going offensively. Arkadelphia had one spurt there in the 3rd inning when they were able to string a few hits, a few base runners together, and they were able to scratch across the 1. But other than that, J.C. Tollison has had control of the Badger lineup, just like Trip Campbell has had control for the most part of the Star City lineup. I mean, I would say that Campbell has had to get out of more jams. You know, it was the 2nd inning in a row that there's a runner on 3rd. They stranded the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th. Then Star City stranded 2 runners on the bottom of the 5th. Both teams have stranded runners on, but in the late innings, those become even bigger.
Yeah, they sure do. And K.D. Young, who has been one of these Arkadelphia on and off offensive players, he's been pretty much a standard issue over at 3rd base this year. K.D. batting .321 and coming in today. He's going to get the lead-off bat here in the inning. He'll be followed by Trip Campbell and Caden Brown. First pitch, he's going to swing on it. He's a little late. He fouls it off left side, out of play. You know, KD is one of these guys that he's kind of a gamer.
We've seen him go to that right center field gap as well, and the way they're playing, he puts one in the right center field gap. It's a double.
And he just misses the second one, so his timing just a bit off on the first 2. He swings and misses. 0-2 to KD. We'll see if Tollison tries to mix him up here on this 3rd. I certainly would not throw what you threw the first 2 pitches because he's going to time it up. We'll see if he goes to the off speed or if he comes high with the fastball. And he drives this one to center field, and it's going to get down. It goes all the way to the wall in center field. Not able to come up to the play is center fielder Wilkerson, and a leadoff double. And just like we talked about, Gamer, the lights aren't on, but they're on for KD.
Well, that's right. I got to give credit to that center fielder, Wilkerson. I thought off the bat that was a one-hopper to the wall. I don't have the angle. I don't know if you could see it at home, but Wilkerson looked like he almost had a play at that one. Couldn't quite catch up to it, though. And so Arkadelphia starts the inning with a leadoff double from K.D. Young. I said right center field fence, but he went to the left center field fence. That's all right with me.
Yeah, he put the bat on the ball, and that was just a mistake there by Tollison. And he almost made another one as he grooves one into Trip Campbell. He hit that one hard.
He hit that one on the screws.
Yeah, he really did. Got just enough in front of it to drive it foul down the right side.
Well, first baseman Carnell's playing in on the grass. If he goes opposite field, he could get to a double, and this would be a 2-1 game as well.
Yeah,
a lot of room in left center field.
Not sure why Carnell's on the grass right there, because power hitting, this is going to be skied into left center field, and it's going to be corralled in front of the 335 sign easily by left fielders for the first out. So an out now, and Caden Brown is going to step to the plate. He's hitting .347 coming into today's game. He's got 10 RBIs.
Softball regional going on behind us, Stuttgart and Nashville. Some excitement. Looks like Nashville just scored the first run of the game in the 5th inning, so they got a low-scoring one over there too.
Brown now in a very critical point for Arkadelphia, top of the 6th, 1-1, a leadoff batter at second base. He takes a high strike for a 0-1 count. Didn't care for it. Neither did we, but it's 0-1. KD is being shadowed behind him by the shortstop at second base. He's getting his lead as secondary. Brown now with a hit that should get the runner over to third, and it does. It's hit out into right field. It's going to be caught, and it's going to get the runner, KD Young, to third base. So a sacrifice.
It's one of those weird things where that's a success for both teams. Arkadelphia has a runner in scoring position 90 feet away. A wild pitch would, with as much space as there is behind the plate, would score KD Young most likely, and especially at this point you'd send them in the 6th inning with a tie game. But Star City is good to trade that to advance from second to third for an out. So now 2 outs, you get a chance to strand another runner at third base. We've seen that the last 3 or 4 half innings.
Yeah, and Whitten, a big looming force here. They're going to walk him because there's a lot of bad things can happen for Star City.
Cooper Stevenson has been one of the hottest hitters, but they're going to try to put the pressure on the sophomore unless they're going to walk him as well.
Well, and Star City definitely looking at the scouting report for Arkadelphia. They know the hottest RBI man was Whitten, leading the team with 18. But they've got a guy with half the at-bats who's got 9 RBIs on the year, and Stevenson they got to contend with right now. Badgers at the corners. So the young sophomore catcher, and a big spot for Arkadelphia. From the right side, Tollison looks at the runner at first, comes set from the stretch to the belt. The pitch is poked out in the shallows. Left field is going to get down. And Cooper Stevenson comes through in the clutch. Arkadelphia 2, Star City 1. 2 outs here, runners at first and second.
Right before that pitch, Dylan Rogers comes on I'll interrupt myself. Dylan Rogers comes on for the courtesy run. Cooper Stevenson gets a big hand from the dugout. Right before that pitch, I heard somebody behind us say, show them that they already made a mistake. First pitch, Cooper Stevenson does that and gives Arkadelphia the 1-run lead. Now runners at first and second, and Casey Pye, who's also had a hit in this game, comes up in another big spot.
He did. He singled back in the 3rd inning. He flew out in the 4th inning. He's back up here in the 6th with a chance to add to the Arkadelphia lead. Casey not scared. You know, if your name is Casey and you're at the bat, you need to be aggressive.
You did
and yes, sir,
you did go
he
there, didn't
is swinging.
You went there, didn't you?
Casey is a swinging machine. And
now Tollison's been able to get him on some of those high fastballs.
Runners at first and second for Arkadelphia. 2 down. Pye gonna lift one out into center field. It's down. Going around third is Whitten. He's gonna draw a throw. It is in time. Nailed at the plate. Whitten did not like it, but it was a superb throw out there by the center fielder, Austin Wilkerson, and they nailed him at the plate. Don't know about it. It's going to get a call.
It was a good call, good play, good throw by the center fielder, Wilkerson. Arkadelphia got the lead. I like the call, though, because it takes a perfect throw and a perfect catch and tag, and that's what Star City got. Star City just made the play, and that was huge. Arkadelphia does get the lead. I don't mind that call. It was a little bit shallow, but they made Star City make a play, and that's exactly what the Bulldogs did.
Well, exactly. You're exactly right, Chris. That, you know, it's one of those, in a 2-1 ball game, you've got to take chances like that. You don't know how many of those opportunities you're going to get. Trip Campbell going to come back out, and he's 6 outs away from a win here, and, you know, it's taken a team effort. You know, Cooper Stevenson was the guy that actually delivered the hit, but it's taken a really good team effort here by Arkadelphia today.
It has several with hits up and down the line. You look, Babb has a single. KD Young has a double. Caden Brown still looking to, he sacrificed. Whitten had a double. Stevenson with that big hit. Pies had 2 hits. You know, so it's up and down the line. Hadn't been able to string many together, so that's why you're only up 1. But in this game, with 6 outs left, a 1-run lead is you know what you got. Now Trip Campbell's going to have to dial it back in and try to get us to the top of the 7th.
Well, if you're not in DeQueen, Arkansas, I'm sorry, but as long as you're listening or watching us on your Arkadelphia Badger TV.com streaming service or on your Mascot Media app, we're glad you're with us, because this has been a whale of a ball game, and hopefully Arkadelphia can pull it out and advance to tomorrow's game tomorrow to face the old familiar Nashville Scrappers. Here's the pitch.
Now, Blake, this is the only broadcast of this game, so there are some Bulldogs out there watching that didn't agree with what you just said, and hopefully Arkadelphia. Now, we're wearing the Badger blue, and they've got the Star City blue, but we're glad you guys from Star City who are watching are able to take it in today.
Casey Pye going to reach over to his left in time. 4-3, the put out for the first out of the inning, and Colby McBride goes down here in the bottom of the 6th.
Last year, these two teams played in the regional. You mentioned the 2015 game. That was coached by Scott Johnson. Blake Wynn was on that team. He's now an assistant, or was last year at Monticello, and hadn't kept up to see if Blake's still there. But lots of good tradition with that Star City baseball team. Go back to that 2015 year, Gary Hill with a couple of highlight catches in that tournament. But just a big tradition of Star City baseball. And these two teams have had some good matchups, and they've all been close. And this is no exception.
Big first baseman back in that 15-year. Austin Capps, man, went to play football for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Yep. Humongous guy, about 6'3", 300 pounds.
15 was the year where it was at Gosnell. Ended up having to play the semis at UCA. And Gary Hill, the center fielder from Star City, made Sports Center top 10 that night for a dead sprint back towards the wall in center field, made a diving catch against Brooklyn, I believe. Just diving, running straight, Jim Edmonds, Willie Mays type, but just some really good battles back in the day between those two teams.
Trip Campbell coming out here and wearing the strike zone out on Dax Humphreys, the right fielder. He's ahead a ball and 2 strikes, and he rings him up looking for the second out of the inning. We talked about pitch counts. We talked about the efficiency of Arkadelphia versus the Star City pitching staffs, and Arkadelphia starting to separate themselves just a little bit, but there's a long way to go.
The Badger Blue on me sure wish we would have separated a little bit more. That
4 more
go back
outs.
To that play at the plate. That's a huge play from Wilkerson and White. See if that comes up to be big. Trip Campbell's going to try to make that not matter, but you go back to plays of the game, depending on how this one plays out. Wilkerson at center field, he and Gavin White, the catcher, and making the catch and the tag to end that top of the 6th to keep it a 1-run game.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, high. Hayden Dean, third baseman, big right-handed hitter, popped up to Trip Campbell and then struck out looking. 0 for 2. Take strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Campbell, 2 outs now, nobody aboard. Badgers hanging on to a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 6th. We'll play 7 here in DeQueen.
That was a good piece of good take right there from Hayden Dean. You know, 2-1. You got to try to get something going. He could have fished at that one, but it was a good take from Hayden Dean. Now he's ahead in the count 3-1. Ooh.
Ball 4 to Dean, and he walks. It's only the second walk of the game issued by Campbell. And that'll bring up J.C. Tollison, the opposing pitcher. He has struck out. He has dinked out to
they're going to put
the
a
pitcher.
Pinch runner in for Hayden Dean, knowing that you got to try to tie this game. It's going to be a pinch runner for Dean. So figure they might, and Dean is third baseman, so not sure if they'll re-enter Dean. We'll watch that in the top of the 7th. But a little more speed on the bases for Star City here.
Yeah, Jaden Sherrill is going to be the pinch runner. He's putting his oven mitt on his right hand over at first base. Caden Brown's going to hold him on for the Badgers. Even with the bag at third is K.D. Young. Double play depth are the middle infielders for Arkadelphia. Fouled away for strike 1. And J.C. Tollison has done a well of a job on the mound. We'll see if he can help his cause here at the plate. He's not been able to do so far for Star City. Sun's starting to poke out just a little bit through this high ceiling of clouds. Tollison swing and fouled his back. 0-2 the count.
Arkadelphia has had several of these one-run games this year. 2 against Nashville. You have close games against Stuttgart. You have a 1-0 game against Magnolia. This is a spot Arkadelphia has been in a few times this year.
0-2. Tollison steps out, calls time. Going into his windup was Campbell. He stops, goes back. He'll come set from the stretch. Dean over at first. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. Got him looking, and he just came right at him, Chris Babb, and he said, hey, you're a pitcher, I'm a pitcher. I'm fixing to blow you away, young man.
It was just a great spot by Campbell. Went on the lower part of the zone, the outside corner part of the plate. Stevenson framed it up nicely, did a nice job of receiving. And Arkadelphia is, you're at a place where you try to get 3. You got 3 outs left. You got a lead, and Coach Lowe is trying to get those guys fired up in the dugout, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is, and everybody's got 3 outs left. It's the top of the 7th, and this is make it or break it. Arkadelphia going to send Kesterson, Hill, and back to the top with Babb here in the top of the 7th inning. We're going to keep it right here, and this is go time, folks. Arkadelphia playoff baseball at its finest. Star City, 2nd seed out of the 8-4A. Arkadelphia, 3rd seed out of the 7-4A. Earlier today, a big win in a blowout run rule or sportsman win for the Nashville Scrappers. And so the winner of today's this game will face the Scrappers tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Sorry, I left you, Blake. Pitch count for Tripp is at 93. So he's at 93 pitches to try to – we're talking about situations that you've been in. Been in that situation 3 times in the last 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, and Arkadelphia trying to save all the arms they can. Tripp expected to go to go all the way every time he takes the mound. It's not always been that way. He's only got a 2-1 record, but Campbell has been one of these guys that when he's on the mound, he's electric. We'll see. We've got 3 more outs to get, but Arkadelphia has a chance to add to its lead right here, 2-1 going into the top of the 7th. Daniel Kesterson played a lot of left field this year, most recently been moved to a DH role, and he's done quite well at it. 286, 322 on base. RBIs, he's 2nd on the team with 16. So Kesterson the chance right here to get things started and add to the Arkadelphia lead. Here's the pitch. It's grounded to third baseman. A nice Sunday hop over there and across the bag. 5-3 is the put out, and so Arkadelphia 1 down here. As we go to Zane Hill. Zane has an RBI single. It was drove in the first run for Arkadelphia to tie the score back in the 3rd inning. Since then, he struck out looking. high, way up in the eyeballs. He'll take it for ball one. Zane started the year at catcher. He's caught a couple of years for Arkadelphia, moved to the outfield, done a nice job. A lot of speed, hoping he can get on base here and add to the Badger lead in the 7th. Takes strike one, a ball and a strike. One out, nobody on. Little dinker back to the pitcher. Should be an easy play for Tollison. He throws across to the first baseman in time for the out. 1-3 goes the second out of the inning, and Arkadelphia now will flip the lineup back to the top and Carter Babb.
Coach Lowe's asking if it didn't hit Zane Hill's foot. He's asking the on-plate umpire if it hit Zane's foot off of the plate. And now the umpire's going to ask. He's at least going to ask and see if they had a
It had a little bit of a distinctive sound of that thud that you don't normally hear from it hitting the ground, like it might have hit a body part of the plate or something. So we'll see if Zane's going to get another chance here.
I really don't think that.
No, it doesn't look like unless it's pretty obvious, probably not going to happen. Yeah, and he calls him out.
They said he signaled over to where reading lips helps. He said it went off the plate.
Plate is fair territory.
And it's going to make a different sound, too.
And it's going to make a different sound. Sounds a lot like hitting the top of a foot. 2 outs now for Carter Babb. He steps into the left side. We'll see. Carter is going to hit one and lace it out into right field for a base hit. 2 outs. And Carter just does what Carter does, and that's a single out in the right field. Arkadelphia now, K.D. Young, he doubled to center, just to the left of center field. He fouled off a couple of early pitches in his last at bat, and Tollison made a mistake and threw him something he could hit on his third, and he laced it out into left center field. We'll see if he does it again. Take strike one. Babb going to draw some attention over at first base. He got picked off on a questionable play back early in the game. He's being held on over there again by Carnell. Draws another throw. You know, as a smart player, he's going to draw some throws over there. He's hoping that ball will get into foul territory and allow him to get to second, possibly third, if KD can stay at the plate long enough to draw a couple more throws. High fastball is ball one. KD now even in the ball and the strike. Campbell on deck. Big breaking pitch by Tollison fools KD as he goes fishing and casting out to an outside pitch. A ball and 2 strikes now. We'll see if Babb is off and running here on a 1-2 count. Gets his lead, gets the secondary, a little bit of hop, and he is off and running. Ball is fouled. Will it stay in play? And it does. The out is made over there by the first baseman, Carnell. So the Arkadelphia Badgers have 3 outs to get. We're going to come back in 30 seconds and wrap this up from DeQueen. Arkadelphia 2, Star City 1. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands. Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Well, if it was the Kentucky Derby, we would say, and they're down the stretch. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1. Arkadelphia clinging to a lead here in DeQueen over the Star City Bulldogs with a chance to punch their ticket to tomorrow's second round against the Nashville Scrappers and a chance to go to Lone Oak and play in the state tournament.
Well, and Trip Campbell back on the mound for the 7th inning. 93 pitches, got around 17 to 22 to work with, and he's going to have to be facing the 1, 2, 3 batters. And so Star City has coming up who they want to come to the plate. They're going to try to get a couple of guys on, let Carnall win the sucker, and Trip Campbell's going to try to keep that tying run off the bases.
Well, it's mano a mano, or at least for now. Austin Wilkerson, right-handed center fielder, against left-handed pitcher Trip Campbell. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. Campbell should be able to finish the inning pitch count wise. Throws high for ball 2. Arkadelphia's got their same defense that they've had.
Got 15 pitches left.
15 pitches left. If you throw more than 15, you're probably going to lose this game. There's a strike, 2 balls and a strike by Campbell. That means you're putting way too many runners on, or guys are getting base hits. 2 balls and a strike now to Wilkerson. Locked him up for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Wilkerson, Rayleigh, and Carnall. There's a fly to center field, measuring it up and making a bead is Babb. He draws it in for the first out. And there's 1 down for Arkadelphia. Logan Rayleigh now, he singled his last time up back in the 5th. Before that, he grounded out a couple of times to the infield. Nobody on, 1 out. Arkadelphia 2 outs away from advancing.
Star City 2 swings away from advancing. Can't get much closer than this, Blake. I mean, that's kind of obvious. I feel like it's stating the obvious, but golly, this is what you play for.
2-1. Another shot out of the center field. Babb charging. He will not be able to get to it. It's going to drop in for a 1 out. Duck snort out into center field, and here's that guy that we talked about.
That's right.
Carnall. He's not had any success so far other than a walk back in the 1st, but he is certainly capable.
Absolutely. He could end this game with 1 swing with a missed spot. He's done it several times this year, and he has a chance here.
From the belt, Campbell deals high, ball 1. He's going to be careful with Carnall. Carnall, the big left-handed first baseman. Pitch down in the dirt, nicely blocked up by Stevenson. That really saved that runner from scoring position. That would have been probably the tying run on just a base hit. 2 balls, no strikes. High, inside, way inside, right over the head of Carnall. Might not be the worst thing possible to put him on base, although Dylan McBride right behind him is 3 for 3 on the day. He's got a couple of singles and an RBI double.
And they're going to go ahead and, with that 1 ball left, they're going to go ahead and walk him, not let him get a chance. So big spot here. The tying run is in scoring position, and Dylan McBride has been the best hitter of the day for Star City.
Yeah, he is, and he's second baseman for Star City. He RBI'd and led. He RBI doubled back in the 1st. That put Star City on the board. He singled center in the 4th and then singled again in the 5th.
Watch that bunt, too.
That's exactly right. Got an out to burn. Swing and a miss. Coming right at him with all speed is Campbell. He zipped that one right by him on the outside corner. Looking in. Campbell sets to the belt. Here's the knee and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him swinging over the top of it. We'll see if Campbell comes back. He's got a pitch to burn. 0-2. Big spot here. Runners at 1st and 2nd for Star City. They trail by 1.
104 pitches. 110's the limit.
And there's a shot that's going to get foul. It's not going to have enough under it for the right fielder, Finley, to get to it. It remains 0-2. He knows his pitch count. His dugout is calling it to him. McBride with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He went over the top. Nice high fastball by Campbell, and he's 1 out away from putting this one in the books, and he finally gets the number on Dylan McBride.
Is it hard?
Gavin White now, catcher.
Yeah, this you can finish the batter, so.
Grounded out in the first inning. Singled in the fourth. Struck out in the fifth. Gavin White is the final out for Star City's season. He's going to hit the ball to second base. Casey Pye over to his left, and there they go. 4-3, Arkadelphia. Casey Pye makes the easy ground ball out to his left, and Arkadelphia is heading to the second round as they will play the Nashville Scrappers tomorrow. Arkadelphia winning the season series against Nashville 2-0. But you got to know, when Nashville gets in the postseason, especially after a day like today, they're going to mean business tomorrow.
Well, and Nashville has really, really been hitting the ball well. They beat Prescott in a non-conference game on Monday when Arkadelphia played Spring Hill. They beat Prescott 18-6. They jumped out on Monticello today, 6-0 on the way to a 12-0 win. So just a completely different team, but nevertheless, you punch that ticket to the state tournament next week. And Arkadelphia will play Nashville tomorrow at noon. We'll pull that bracket up real quick. You see the bracket there, Nashville and Arkadelphia tomorrow at noon, and so we'll have that broadcast here. Stuttgart and Magnolia are ready to hop in when Arkadelphia and Star City leave. So Stuttgart, Magnolia, then Ashdown Crossett, but the big one's in the books. 2-1 the final. Arkadelphia gets the win. Trip Campbell finally gets that elusive complete game one-run victory as he was on, I think he finished at pitch 107 or 108 out of the 110 limit.
Yeah, and it's typical Trip Campbell today as he really gets out of some jams, and you know, you can't say enough about this. Even though Trip Campbell was the guy on the mound today, it was a complete win for Arkadelphia. You know, when you get into playoff baseball and you've got a 2-1 or 1-0 game, it's all about who's going to make that mistake. And Arkadelphia just did not make that mistake today. So we're going to let the Badgers have a minute to breathe, and we're going to come back to you tomorrow. We're not going to pick a player of the game. We've got a whole team that's players of the game today. So we're going to let you guys breathe. We're going to be back tomorrow on the air right here from DeQueen, second round, Arkadelphia versus the Nashville Scrappers at noon. We'll try to take the air about 11:50 tomorrow. So if you're at home or if you're at work, be sure and turn us on your Arkadelphia BadgerTV.com streaming service or your Mascot Media app, code word Arkadelphia Badgers. From DeQueen, the first round of the South Regional, Arkadelphia 2, Star City 1 is our final. My name is Blake Bell, along with for Chris Babb. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.